What is up, you guys? Hope you're having a good week so far. This is week 2 of remote learning, and we're just going to kind of dive right on in, okay? So, in your book, you're going to need to turn to page 21, okay? I know we're kind of skipping over more than we usually do, but again, we're just trying to get to the end of the book to try and cover as much as we can. So on page 21, we're looking at 101, and we're looking at a new time signature. Now, this is a little bit weird, okay? We're looking at the time signature 6/8. Now, this is the first time signature that we have where it's not a 4 as the bottom number. So it's not a quarter note that is equal to 1 pulse. It's an 8th note because we have the 8 on the bottom, okay? So it's telling us that each measure we have 6 eighth notes. 6 eighth notes per measure, hence 6/8. Now, the way that we count 6/8 is a little bit weird because you can see if you look at 101, the groupings of eighth notes are a little bit different. In 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, we grouped our eighth notes in groups of 2s, and then sometimes we would group them in 4s. In 6/8, we're grouping our eighth notes in 3s. Okay, so if you look at the first measure of 101, okay, the strong pulses that we would have, okay. The strong pulses happen on the first eighth note of each grouping. And actually, let me get my metronome and play that for you so you can hear the difference of what I'm talking about. All right, so let's do it at a slower tempo. Let's get a better voice than that. There we go. Okay, if this is the pulse, okay, if I put on the eighth note underneath that, okay, so you can hear, so this is just the first note, that's first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now, when I'm conducting 6/8, it looks similar to 2/4, okay? Because 2/4, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, but then if I change to 6/8, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Which is a little bit funky. Now, so that we have 2/4, okay, where we have, the grouping where we have a strong pulse here on 1, we have a strong pulse here on 2. For 6/8, we have a strong pulse here on 1, and we have a strong pulse here on 4. Now, a question that I get a lot every year that I teach this is 3/4. Everybody's like, that's the exact same thing as 6/8. I have the same amount of eighth notes. The difference is where the strong pulses are at. In 3/4, we have a strong pulse on 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Whereas if we line that up with 6/8, that would line up 1, 2, 3. It doesn't quite line up where the strong pulses are in 6/8. 6/8 is more about a different feel. We use that time signature because we want to have a different kind of feel to the notes, okay? And it looks super, super weird. I assure you it's not as difficult as you think. Every year when we do 6/8, as soon as you play through 1 or 2 exercises, you realize it's really not too bad, okay? So, to just get some practice with it, okay, let's look at the clapping and counting, okay? Well, let's look at number 101, rhythm rap, okay? So a dotted quarter note is equal to 3 eighth notes, so that would be 1 pulse, okay? So let's clap and count through these, the 101, okay? 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, try it again. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you notice I kind of was swaying back and forth like this. Whenever I do 6/8, I always try to find where that pulse is. If you find where that pulse is, it really helps you line up everything, okay? Now, in 102, it's the exact same rhythm as 101. We're just now applying notes to it, okay? Exact same rhythm, now just applying notes. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all it is. I know it feels a little bit weird at first, but it's not too terrible, okay? In number 103, Row Your Boat, a classic I'm sure we're all very familiar with, okay? It's written in 6/8, for those of you that don't know, okay? And you'll see how it's all about getting that feel. Try and find that sway kind of feel of that pulse of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can find that sway and that pulse, it's going to really help your timing of understanding 6/8, okay? Here we go, 103, Row Your Boat, 6, 7, and... Okay? Find that sway. Find that sway. Okay? Let's do the next one, which is Jolly Good Fellow. Okay? Now, in this case, we're in 6/8 still, but at the very beginning, you'll notice it's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past couple ones. Okay? We have a pickup note in 6/8. Now, this is a little bit different than what we've had before. Okay? Let me just draw the example on my little whiteboard here so that we can understand. Okay, ooh, that was a terrible 6. So, at the very beginning, we have 1/8 note. Okay? We've got 1/8 note here at the very beginning. Now, we've talked about with pickups, we're taking off the very end of our last measure. So, if we're taking off the very last 8th note of our last measure and putting it at the beginning, it's going to be beat 6. Okay? So, the counting for that 1/8 note is beat 6. So, when I'm counting you in for this, okay, I would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. You would play on 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do as we play through Jolly Good Fellow. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not too difficult, but it does sneak up on you. If you're not ready for that 1/8 note that comes in on beat 6, if you're just trying to wait till the last minute, you're going to be late. Okay, so you really have to make sure you anticipate it and subdivide in your head. Now, I'm verbalizing it going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you need to be thinking that as you're coming in. Okay. The last one, 105. This one, again, is just more practice in 6/8, and that's why we're just going to do it. It's just to give you as much practice in 6/8 as we can. But yeah. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. We don't have anything range-wise, note-wise that's super confusing. It's pretty straightforward, and the slurs are pretty straightforward, just slurring the 3/8 notes together. It's just more practice with 6/8. Okay, here we go. 105. 6, 7, and... that. Okay, 6/8, again, it looks confusing, but once you play through it 1 or 2 times, you realize it's really not as bad as you think. Okay? Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, or if you want to talk in person, just get one of those appointment times, and I hope to see you soon. Okay? Love you, miss you.